Hello, welcome back to Dry Creek Beekeeping. As I promised in my last video, I am finally going to be getting back to doing the alpha and beta hive checks. In fact, that's what this video is going to be. Specifically, I'm going to be looking whether or not they're preparing to swarm, and if they are, then I'll be looking into possibly making some splits out of those hives. So, let's get on with the video. Alright, starting out with the beta hive here. And it looks like they have drank all of their sugar water. So I might have to be replacing that. Oh wow, that is an ant infestation. See all those? Those are all ants. So that means ants have been getting into the hive and eating the sugar water, and that's probably why they're out of sugar water already. Hopefully this isn't posing too big of a deal for them, but that is definitely an issue. I can also see that I have a mouse problem in the tent as well. This is probably going to be the last video that these hives are in the tent, as today was our last below freezing day. This morning it was a whole 32 degrees. Looking at the outside frames here, they do have a little bit of wax they're starting to build, but not much more than that. Yeah, I really want to get these hives out of the tent here since it's not really going to be needed anymore, as projected temperatures are going to be well into the 80s by next week. I could probably do that today. Not much brood on this frame, but amazing pollen stores. In fact, you know what? I am going to do that today. I am going to move these hives out of here and back over to where they belong. Alright, that's the plan today. I'm just going to take a look at one more frame here, and then we will move on with moving this hive. Here is all the brood. An entire healthy frame of brood, and it looks like they got pretty good brood patterns here. Now it's time to move this box. As I'm cleaning up this off, I'm noticing there are some swarm cells here, which means that their hive is getting pretty packed, and I'm probably going to want to look into splitting this hive. Alright, and while I have the top box here, I want to take a real quick look at this, make sure that they are working on moving all of their brood to these bottom boxes, stuff like that. Because if I were ever to do a swapping the boxes, then today would be the day. Oh yeah, it does look like they're starting to move all the brood down to these lower frames. So that's good. There's just like one or two more frames that I want to look at here. Specifically this one. Got some weird comb formations growing on it. Oh yeah, look at that. That is weird. Alright, now I just gotta move everything back over here, and then I can put them back in the place where they belong. And since I moved them kind of just like on a whim like this, I'm gonna check on these guys again in just 1 week instead of 2 like I usually do. Just because I want to make sure that they're doing okay. And like I said, I saw some swarm cells in this hive, which means that they are pretty close to swarming. So I want to make sure that they don't do that and I can split this hive before they swarm. Alright, and there we go. The beta hive is back where it belongs out here in the bee yard. Now it's time to move the alpha hive, which is still right back over there in the tent. Looking at the bottom of this here, I don't see any potential swarm cells, and I'm not really going to remove any of this because it's not really making a big deal right now. Alright, so you can see they do have a little bit of good brood up here, and then on this other side it's mostly just drone brood. Look at that. There is like some good brood like right here, but the rest of this is just drone brood. I don't know why exactly they're doing that, but they're doing it. So the good news is that it doesn't look like a laying worker situation because it's still pretty organized, but that's definitely something that I'll be keeping an eye on for sure. Alright, now looking at these lower frames here, I'm already seeing a not very good sign. If we look over here, that is some pretty thick mold. That is not good. But I'm just going to take a look at a couple frames here. Nonetheless, just going to ignore that mold for now, I guess. And wow, would you look at that? Absolutely nothing. In fact, there is nothing on any of these frames. Huh. Well, that's not very good because this lower box didn't have much to offer. So I'm just gonna take a real quick look. This is the bottom board here, and you can see there's a lot of dead bees on there. That's like no big deal. What I'm really concerned about is this back corner. That is all mold and water. So I'm just gonna kind of try to clear this off a little bit, and then I don't know, scrape this bottom board, see if I can get some of that mold off. Alright, scrape that off. The good news is mold usually doesn't pose that big of an issue for bees. So I'm gonna try not to worry about it, but still, this could be a problem in the future if it continues to get worse. But with summer coming, hopefully it won't be a big deal. And I do just want to take one last real quick look at these upper frames here, because if that was all the brood that's on these frames, like if that was it, that's not good. That means this hive is doing really poorly. Oh, no. Never mind, they're fine. They got good brood. They got decent patterns. Alright, so for the time being, I'm really not going to worry about the alpha hive. I'm just going to try to let them figure it out on their own, basically. Because this is nothing that I can really mess with right now. It does seem like this hive is fairly weak, but again, they were in that tent. Who knows what could have happened. So now I'm going to move them to their normal place out here in the bee yard. All right, and there we go. The alpha hive is back in position. Now I can get back to doing my intros and outros to my videos with hives on either side. So to recap what I saw in this video, the beta hive seems to be doing fairly well. Of course, we have had a tough year, and I have to put that into perspective to kind of judge how it's doing. But it does seem that they are at least thinking about potentially swarming, which means that I could be having to split the beta hive here very soon. And the alpha hive, well, it's not doing as well. It seems to be struggling just a little bit, slow brood production, and I didn't see many pollen stores in there either. I'm not really sure why that is, but hopefully it'll figure itself out. I also saw some mold in there, which could become a problem in the future, but right now, it's not really a problem. But that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like and maybe even subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.